those tails to the other side. And that just gets them out of the way, especially if you're doing an intricate design with a lot of different color changes. I think it's a little less confusing when you have those tails out of the way. So now I'm ready to go to my second row. And you want to, like say, some loose, plenty of tension. You don't want that too tight. And when I go to pick up my second color, I'm going to bring it underneath the first. You're kind of twisting the yarns, and that way you won't get any holes or gaps. Bring the third color underneath the second. Lay that in place. Pass the carriage. And there's my next row. Do a couple more rows here, and then we're going to add one more color. And like I say, it's kind of like following a cross-stitch chart once you get going. Because you can just count from where you left off. And what I'm doing here is I'm increasing by one stitch on each side to make my diamond. Okay. Go to my next row. Yarn here. And again, make sure all your latches are open. Okay. And now I'm going to add the next color. So pick that up. So always bringing the next yarn underneath the first. Have another here, starting a kind of a diamond inside the diamond. So now I'm going to have to pick up another bobbin of the pink. Tail goes on the carriage side, and I'll bring my white underneath the new color. And like I say, when you start a new color, you can either, kind of hold on to that, or use your finger to make sure the yarn's toward the back. Okay. I had a little boo-boo there, and I caught that right as I was doing that. What happened is I crossed my yarn here. I didn't have my white. I brought it up a little too soon, not a problem. We're just gonna drop that stitch there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, as the pink was the wrong one. So we'll put that white there, drop the pink. See, if you make a boo-boo, you can always go back and do it by hand. You just want to make sure when you do that, you put those latches back out into the working position. The needles have the latches open. So now I'm going to tie on the back. See, I just use a good old granny square knot. Latch up here. I have a tool that looks like a dental pick, and that's usually what I use here. I'm going to pull these threads through. The latch hook works just fine. Like I say, just kind of gets them out of the way, cleans things up a little bit. Extra. Again, make sure all my latches are open. And bring the next color up underneath. Okay. And I'm ready to go to the next row. Like I say, if you don't have an Intarsia key plate, all you need to do is use your card, bring those needles out all the way so that the yarn goes behind the latches, and then use them to push it back. And you can kind of feel that when the yarn slips into that groove there is when you're in the proper forward position. And then you just need to check to make sure that all the latches are open. And then when you're ready to go back from using Intarsia, say you're all done, rethread your carriage, change your key plate, and this is what's neat. You can just leave them in the forward working position. Make sure all your latches are open. Knit a row, and you're back to your regular knitting. I'm going to brag here a little bit. That was a simple design that I showed, but this is just one example of how intricate you can get with Intarsia. You just have to have a separate bobbin for each time you change color. A couple people have asked, well, what if I only have to do one little stitch? You know, can I cheat? You know, if I'm just carrying over from one to pick up one little stitch. There are times when yes, you can. I mean, you hate to tie on a bobbin for one little stitch. You just have to be careful because sometimes you can tell. You might get a little bit of a gap. Like right here, I kind of slipped up my yellows here, and you just get a little bit of a cross, but nothing bad. Or another thing you can do is go back and just do it in duplicate stitch if you have just one little stitch. So just keep your area solid and then go back overwards. And that kind of ends that problem of having to have so many bobbins. So I hope that explains it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at kathymills@wcnet.org. Thanks a lot.